Hey guys, this is Miss Hirschman, and we're going to be talking about grid drawing today. Grid drawing is a really helpful way in order to help you focus on what you're drawing. It can help you enlarge your drawing from some smaller picture up to a larger picture, and it really helps you keep things in proportion so that whatever you're drawing doesn't get stretched out. If you've ever started a drawing and then as you realized you were gonna run off the edge of the paper, tried to squeeze that drawing onto the paper, you know that it looks strange and weird and one part of it is squished up together. Okay, so using a grid will help you make sure that the proportions are correct no matter what size you're drawing something. Okay, um, a grid drawing has been around for a very long time. It helps us really focus and train your eyes to see the lines, and it brings back that whole thing we've talked about before about really just seeing the lines and the spatial relationships and not worrying about trying to make your drawing look exactly like it does right now, but just focusing on the lines, the angles, and their relationships to one another. Um, some professional artists still use a grid as a professional artist. Some professional artists don't use the grid. After a while, if you discover you don't like actually drawing out the grid every time, you can still kind of, after practicing it a few times, get the idea of the grid and kind of see it in your mind without having to draw it. However, there are plenty of artists that do actually grid out their work every single time. We'll look at another one pretty pretty soon on your learning guide and look at Chuck Close a little bit. He uses grid every single time. All right. So you can see in this video he set up his grid, and one thing he's doing that's really great is he is just focusing on one square at a time, blocking out all of the rest of the squares with his papers. So he's not getting intimidated by, oh my goodness, I can't draw a face, I can't draw a person. He's just focusing on those one little block at a time, that one certain line at a time, how big it is compared to the grid, how big it is compared to the other lines he's already drawn. And no, this isn't me. Okay. And yeah, he's making a bit of a weird face in that. If you guys have ever seen those self-portraits where people put tape on their faces and make their faces look really strange, that's kind of what it reminds me of. I have another time-lapse video of the same portrait. This time he's going through and adding the value. Okay, again, I like that he is just focusing on one square at the time. He's not worrying too much about the picture as a whole, but really focusing on that one square, getting it to be the right shade, the right value. All right, so you can see he got a really nice done photo, realistic picture that he drew using the grid. All right, what I would like you to do now is go ahead and use a page in your sketchbook, and we're going to do a very, very simple practice four-square grid. All right, so go ahead in your sketchbook, draw 2 lines. Divide your paper up into 4 areas. So 1 vertical line, 1 horizontal line. If you need to pause the video and do this, that's fine. The lines don't have to be perfect or exactly in the middle. We're kind of just doing this for a fun introduction way to start using grids. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to remove one of these squares at a time. I want you, after I remove a square, to pause the video and look at this square and really, really focus on drawing it to the best of your ability, the same way on your sketchbook paper. Okay, the first square we're going is this bottom left. Now, when you're drawing this, really notice that the lines and shapes and their relationships. So notice this line is slightly curved and it hits your grid line about halfway through the box. Okay, so this should be going about halfway through. Same thing for this line over here. It's not quite halfway. This line's a little bit closer to halfway through. Okay, so kind of use your grid lines as a way to visually measure as you're drawing. Okay, same thing, this edge line is right here along your grid line. And then this is coming a little less than 1/4 of the way out of the box. All right, go ahead, pause the video, and draw this to the best of your ability. Okay, the next one I'm going to take away is this bottom right. Go ahead, pause the video, and draw this to the best of your ability. Okay, next we're taking away this top left. Go ahead, pause the video. You know the drill. All right, and the very last one, we're taking away this top right box. Yes, please do finish it, even though now you can see the entire picture is a microscope. Did you know that? Did you figure it out 1 or 2 boxes in? Okay, that does it for our very quick practice and intro. You can go ahead and get this step checked off and head to your next step on our learning guide. All right, bye guys.